Hey guys, I know we had put out something that there was a medical situation, and I wanted to get to you and talk to you about it a little bit so you understand. There was a lot of messages came in, what kind of medical issue, who, what. It was me. The other night, um, I got up 3:30 in the morning. I was taking care of Lily, my dog. At 4 o'clock in the morning, my blood vessel in my nose bursted. And I was shot a few times, broke my nose when I was in a fight. I've been around some bloody places. I never seen so much blood. It was pouring out of my nose. I couldn't even stop it. My whole house looked like a crime scene. And like I said, it was 4 o'clock in the morning. By about, I was afraid to call, not that I was afraid, but I didn't want to call 911. It's a bloody nose. You know what I mean? I didn't want to look like, a jerk. But it was bleeding super heavy. About 6:30, after a couple of hours of bleeding nonstop, I couldn't stop it. I was always stuffing something in my nostril to stop it, but it would get soaked and then start dripping. Even with that, I had to take it out. When I took it out, the blood came out so quickly that it hit, and it was like a splatter. It splattered. It went all over the place. And that's what happens in a crime scene, a splatter, they talk about it. Well, that's what was happening to me. I was starting to get a little lightheaded and a little dizzy. I've been in the military and I've been in the street all my life. So I know you can, if you bleed long enough, the way I was bleeding, you can bleed out. You get dizzy, you faint, you fall on the floor. If it just keeps bleeding, after a while, your body don't have enough blood and you die. So I had called my son. I didn't call him, I texted him. They were sleeping, maybe around 7-ish, something like that. I texted not only my son, but I texted Peanuts. And I said, "Are you up?" And she texted back, "Yeah, I am up. What's up?" I says, "I think I'm in trouble. I think I have a problem." No more texting. She had called me right up. "What's the matter?" And I told her what happened. She lives about 40 minutes away from me. She was there in 30 minutes. She must have been doing 80 miles an hour the whole time. She came in and she was shocked. And I started telling her what was going on. I mean, she was tiptoeing. You couldn't even walk in my house. That's how much blood there was. It was insane. I had a pile of tissues. I went through 2 boxes of tissues trying to stop it in the course of all these hours. Well, anyway, we left my house. She took me in a car, and we went to a hospital right close to my house. It's one of those emergency hospitals. It wasn't like a big hospital. And I went in. There was a woman behind the counter. You have to fill out forms. Peanuts took a fit. He's been bleeding for 4 hours. Look at him, the rag, everything there was blood all over. There was somebody before me. He has to wait his turn and fill out forms. Look at the way he's bleeding. "Come on, let's get out of here," she said. And we left. We went to the Chandler Hospital, big hospital. And we walked in. They took me in 1, 2, 3. No sign-ins, no nothing. "Get in, hurry up." So I went in. We were in the right spot. A few minutes went by. She was in touch with everybody. My son was down at the hospital. So I went in, and they put like a nose clip, which did slow it down, but they couldn't stop it. If you took it off, it just poured out. So now what they had to do is they put this thing as big as my finger, this much, all the way up to the top of my nose. And it's a balloon. They press it and it expands. And it gets up against the hole, is right up against the balloon, and it stops it. And that's what they did. There's a picture. I'm going to show you the picture of it. And they tied it it was in. I had some things coming out of my nose, and I had this bandage that was holding it in place. The doctor told me when I was there, and he came in, I asked him, why did this happen? Why so severely? He said, the way we look at it, it's a perfect storm. What do you mean by that? He said, you're up in age. The linings and stuff get a little thinner, a little more beat up. We see your records, you got stents in, you went for heart surgery, and the cardiologist recommended you're on blood thinners, aspirin, so your blood is very thin. The lining is thin. It's dry. You don't have hair in your nose. I don't have hair anywhere, really. I got sick in prison, lost all of it. I don't have hair anywhere. And he says, you don't have hair in your nose, and that holds moisture, so it's dry on the inside. You got a little bruise, a little cut. When it opened, all of these things happened, and it just blew out like a waterfall, and you lost a ton of blood. So it was a perfect storm. It was all of those things. The blood pressure medicine, the thin lining on the nose. I didn't have hair on my nose, up in age, all of these things. And I never even thought about stuff like that, but that's what it was. It was all of these things together. So from a little thing like a bleeding nose, that's why I didn't call 911 or get a doctor there. I just says, well, it's a bleeding nose. I mean, it's a lot more, but, I had to do it until Monday. Monday, they wanted me to come back. They would take it out, and if it stopped bleeding, if it got a little bit of a scab, maybe they would cauterize it. I don't know what they would do. But it seemed to be serious because they sent me a notice the following day saying that they wanted me to have a follow-up visit. They wanted to check it. So I guess they thought it was fairly serious, especially knowing how much blood I lost. And they did all these tests. They gave me prescriptions for antibiotics so you don't get infected and all this other crap. So Peanuts came over again, helped me clean up the house. She spent a couple hours cleaning the house. She went to her sister's house, and her sister was cooking this lasagna. It's the kind of stuff they eat, the vegan meal. At that time, I was beat up. I was tired. I would eat anything. So I said, okay, I'll eat that. That's okay. And so she went by her sister's, and she told me it made me take a nap. I took a nap. When she came back, she was still cleaning up, bringing the food in, and I took a shower. I came out. I was dressed. I had a conference call. I still took it, and we did that. Then we ate, and then she put some extra stuff in my refrigerator, the food, and left to go home. Now that's a team player. She was a superstar. This morning when I was coming in, I had all this stuff still there. And I was going to come in. I felt a little better. On the way in, I sneezed. The sneeze blew this thing right back out of my nose. And it was just dangling on my face. Again, she saw me. She runs over, got everything off, cleaned me up. Well, it's not bleeding. She says, let's just leave it. If it starts bleeding, I'll rush you right back to the hospital. If not, we'll call them. We'll tell them what happened. Do they want us to come in? Do they want to do it again? Or they want to just chill and wait? Because I'd rather just chill and wait. I'm not too crazy about hospitals. I mean, they're good, they help you, but I hate being in these hospitals. So that's what we did. James Carroll called me up. My whole team got involved in this. And we decided to back up. I was doing too much, too many things, too many videos, the podcast, all kinds of different things. I'm not going to get into all the things we're doing. And they wanted me to chill for a while. And I agreed. I think I need a little bit of a rest, a recovery period. So I'm not going to put out videos like I was for a couple of weeks. It's even going to affect the time when I was coming out with the podcast, only by maybe a couple of weeks. But I wanted to have you people know what the reason was and what's going on. I've been that way with you from the beginning, and I thought it was not just things not coming out and people saying, what happened, or who got sick, or what went on. That's what we were getting messages. So I wanted to be able to do this. Maybe you could hear my voice is slightly different. It's just that I was so beat up that night. And it's going to take, the doctor said it'll take time to build up blood. Blood just don't come back. It takes time to build up to the level where it was, and I'll be fine. You know, when this happened, I did a story about my Goombada Alley boy, and it reminded me of that. My nose was busted. I was in a car accident while we were doing a crime. And when I was put back together, the following day after the surgery, we went out to steal again. We got out on bail. And I was in the car, my Goombada Alley boy was driving. We were going to go do our trunking. And my Goombada Alley boy says, let's take tonight off. I said, bro, we got the bail bondsmen, the lawyers. I need money in my house. We got to just keep doing this, bro. I'm tired too, bro, but we got to do it. And he told me, Goomba, you got too much balls, bro. Your whole face is bandaged up. And the blood is coming out. It's leaking. Look at your shirt. Not a t-shirt on. I looked down, and there was blood dripping on my shirt. I looked at him, and I said, you're right. If a cop car looks, my whole face, it looks like I got a mask on. It was both eyes, the whole nose was covered. Everything was covered. It just came up. And now it was leaking, and there's blood all over my chest. So I said, if a cop car passes and he sees me, he's going to pull us over. And we may have some tires and some shit in the car, and you're right. You're right. So bleeding like that, it brought me back to that story. I'm sure some of you guys saw that story with me and my Goombada. If you didn't, complain. And I'll do it. I'll do the whole story with him. Because I love them. And I saw the love and the compassion in his face. I saw that with Peanuts. She had a Goombada Alley face looking at me. Little red eyes, little tears. That's what we have. I love you guys, and as soon as I can get back on and do everything, we're going to do it. There's a lot of interesting things. You know, there's still this thing, I'm getting all kinds of questions from people about, sit down with Michael Franchise. Patrick is calling me. Michael sent a message. And so I'm really considering this. You know, I've heard some of his things. Sometimes he talks negative about me. I blew it off because there's people every once in a while say something. I don't get that excited all the time. But I think I might consider it. I know he's now a religious person. He found God. He found Jesus and doing all of that. And I sent him a message, bro. If that is all legit, and God bless you, I believe in God as well. But if you're going to sit down with me, you better bring God with you, bro. I'm not easy. I may be up in age, but there's a couple of things you said about me that maybe I'm going to want to discuss that again. So we'll see. But there's all kinds of different things. My friend Johnny Alay calls me, wants me to come on the show. And I'm telling all of you guys, there's only so much I can do. I'm involved in a lot of things all my life. I survived so many different things. I had even cancer 3 times, skin cancer, and I got rid of it. So now I beat this again. This morning when I woke up, I said, God, I beat so many things. There has to be a reason why. Why are you saving me? Is there a reason? Is you want me to do something? You want me to say something? Tell me. And like I said, on the way to work, the thing came flying right out of my nose. So maybe that's some sort of an answer. He wants me to come back to work. I don't know. I've got a great team. We're now hiring. We're trying to get more people involved so we can get these things done. But that's all I wanted to say. I wanted you to know how everything around us is going. All right. Adios, motherfucker.